Oh, look, there. We're live.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another edition of the Wasted Ammo Podcast. We are your hosts. I'm Stephen Broyles. That's Eric Mavis. And today is Wednesday, Conflicted Hump Day, October, 23rd? I think it is.
Yes.
2019. This is episode 279. We are back.
Get it?
Well, almost all of us.
Yeah. Kyle's on vacation.
Look how clean it looks. Like there's nothing in the way.
I walked in here and I'm
stretch.
And I was like, the bug out facility looks bigger. I was like, oh, Kyle's chair is gone. It's a noticeable difference without you, Kyle. You should be complimented by that.
So all three of us had vacations pretty much back to back.
Yeah.
So that's kind of cool. So now Kyle's on
Yeah.
vacation.
You and I had vacations the same week, and then Kyle had vacation this week. And he said, I might not be joining you guys. I might be busy.
Busy.
So I've been following his Instagram stories, and he's been having a good time.
Okay. Those disappear, right? After like a
Yeah,
day?
after like 24 hours, they
Okay.
go
Yeah,
away.
I missed it.
Oh, he's posting them all the time.
I'm just ignoring him. I'm just kidding. He's not here tonight anyway.
I was liking him, and then he got on our group chat on text. It was like, thanks for liking my stories, Eric. What the heck, Steve?
I just got back. I'm trying to get everything back in order. How was your vacation?
It was good. We went to Texas, and specifically Waco. We flew into Dallas-Fort Worth on Monday, and it was a trip for the wives. We went with Lucy's best friend and her husband, and
It's never me.
I know we have to work this out sometime.
Blame the wives.
Yeah, I blame the wives
Blame
too.
the wives.
Always blame the wives.
Lindsay's sleeping. She's not joining tonight.
So anyway, we went to, if your wives follow Chip and Joanna Gaines on HGTV, a TV show called Fixer Upper. They are based in Waco, Texas, and they have a ranch called Magnolia Farms, and they started their own. They actually bought a granary and silo on the south side of Waco that was abandoned by Baylor University, and they turned it around and fixed it up into a marketing scam, and it's brilliant. There's like outdoor areas. It's basic white chick heaven. There's Magnolia Coffee Press, which is a coffee house. Then they have Magnolia Bakery, where you can get like cupcakes and donuts and cookies, baked goods. And then they have Magnolia Table, which is a fancy restaurant. And then there's like they turn the granary into a shopping area where they sell all the kind of stuff that she uses to stage homes. So it's like Pier 1 on steroids. And anyway, it was a good time. It was for the ladies. They're big fans. We actually saw Joanna Gaines, and Lucy's best friend was actually kind of like wigging out about it. I was a little bit starstruck, but she was.
When you text us who you guys saw, I was like, "Who?"
Yeah,
I don't
exactly.
know what you're talking about.
And yeah, it was a good time. The wives loved it. It was funny because everything in the store part that she uses to stage homes and basically her style, everything was like super expensive, and it was all made in China, made in India, made in Indonesia. And so you know that they're only getting this thing for like 35 cents for like this wooden distressed decorative bird. Okay, it's about so big, and it was $28. And I'm like, yeah, they bought that for 5 cents, and they're charging $28. A candle, like a 10-ounce candle, was $58.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, I was like, you gotta be kidding me. So anyway, we were in Waco for that one day. It was raining all day, but we got to see all the sights. The girls got to, enjoy Magnolia Farms experience. And we headed back up to Dallas, saw the aquarium/zoo, which was pretty cool. It was neat. It's like 5 stories. So you start at the top floor, work your way down. And when we went to Fort Worth, went to the stockyards, saw a cattle drive, which was about 20 cows. Or
Do they drive them?
Steer. Yeah, there was like 8 cowboys on horseback for 20 steer. And I'm like, come on. But anyway, at least you got to see some longhorns up close. There was one guy making a living, and he had a steer off to the side, up on the sidewalk. All right, a little step stool next to it, charging $5 to sit on this bull and take a picture. And this dude was making $5 every 2 minutes.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
It's still cheap.
Yeah, there were some great business ideas down there, and it was like straight up taking advantage of tourism and popularity. It's great. But the Stockyards is like this old Western downtown. There's some steak houses, brisket houses, an old hotel, which they tried to keep original to the time period. And then there was plenty of other stores that sold cowboy boots, hats. One place actually had tailors that would fit a cowboy suit to you. And you walk out of there with like a big old belt buckle suit, like 3-piece suit with a, cowboy shirt, cowboy tie, cowboy hat, boots. I found some comfortable cowboy boots. $4,000.
4,000.
Yeah.
It's expensive to be a cowboy.
Right.
Jeez. Was it those American boots that you sent me a picture of?
That was in the same store.
Okay.
I don't know how much those were. They were up on like a top shelf. I think it was
Probably
more of a
10 grand.
Yeah, 76. Yeah, America. So I saw a lot of you guys. I tried to post some pictures. And after Fort Worth, we headed back to Dallas where we were staying. And the Friday, we were flying home, but our flight wasn't until 6:30. Well, don't you know, down in Waco was at Magnolia, the Magnolia neighborhood of town, I'll call it, was the Silobration. And so it's the silos that Chip and Joanna Gaines bought, remodeled into this nice area where they had live music. It was the 5th annual Silobration. And so then they had all these vendors come in with their tents that were all associated with Chip and Joanna. Lucy follows a few of them on Instagram, so she saw some of her Instagram celebrities. And so we got a few pictures, and she bought some jewelry. It's a good time. So we went back down to Waco and spent the day there. The coffee shop was open. It wasn't open on Tuesday. It wasn't done yet. So we got some coffee there. We waited in line for 45 minutes for a cup of coffee. Yeah. So
this sounds super exciting.
But it was for the ladies. It was definitely a trip for them. But it was a good time. It definitely wasn't long enough. After that, I could have used a weekend at the beach in Florida. But
yeah. 'Cause you were kid-free.
Yes.
Is Kyle kid-free right now?
Yes. You were not.
I'm the only one that wasn't kid-free? Man. I'm doing this wrong.
Look, if we're going to vacation together, there can't be any kids.
No, there's way too many kids.
Right.
Way too many.
Right.
We went with a couple. We just went to Kentucky. Lindsay's aunts and uncle's cabin.
Yeah, that we stayed in
Knob
for
Creek.
Knob Creek. Yeah.
So we stayed in that same place. So we had a free cabin to stay at. And then we just traveled to different places and went hiking. Went to Kentucky Kingdom. Found out that Jackson loves roller coasters, like
nice.
Full-fledged roller coasters.
Yeah, is he
upside
is
down.
he tall enough for some of those?
He was tall enough for everything except for the T3, which is like their biggest one.
Oh.
He was like an inch too short.
Oh, is he pretty disappointed?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I wasn't riding roller coasters at his age like that.
I was scared to death.
We
of
just
him.
jumped on him. Like I don't think he had no idea what was happening. We just got on there. There's basically no line, so we got straight on. And that first roller coaster, he was like this. Didn't scream, didn't do anything. Just I was like, oh, I just ruined it for him, you know. And then afterwards, he was like, that was awesome. And then after that, he was good to go.
Cool.
We dug up some dinosaur bones.
I saw some video on that.
A lot of kid stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, went hiking. So
Bears?
I didn't see any bears.
Oh, okay.
No.
Your trip last year, you saw some black bears.
Yeah, that was in Virginia, though.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So we didn't see anything. No scary bears or anything like that.
Gotcha.
It wasn't an adventure, but it was a good family trip.
Good.
Yep, and a cheap one. So, Arrows, thank you for letting me use your cabin.
Hmm.
The place is beautiful.
It's a gorgeous place.
There's I have a picture on Instagram when we went last year or 2 years ago. The 2 years?
3 years ago now.
Oh my God, it's too long. 3 years ago. So if you want to take a look, you can. But the day we got down there, they were having the machine gun shoot at Knob Creek.
And you were like, let's go, everybody. And they're all like,
Yeah, it's like, I don't think so. They didn't want to go to Syria.
I'm surprised. Nice. I'm surprised Ben didn't want to go.
He did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he was all for it.
Yeah.
No one else was.
Okay. I would think so. I mean, he's a gun guy.
Yeah. No one else was.
Oh,
The wives, the kids.
it's like you stay here and swim, spend the day at the lake or river, and we'll just go to Knob Creek for a little bit, go see what Syria battlefield looks like.
I saw the video. It was amazing.
Yeah.
Shock and awe
Right.
is what it
Yeah.
actually is what it looks like. That's hilarious that
I
they
was
used
like-
that footage.
I was like, holy cow, the Turks have miniguns. I'm like, wait a second.
They're all lined up. What is this? Can you believe they used that? I mean, it doesn't surprise me, but I'm still trying to understand how that
how they got
footage
made.
was used.
Apparently, the source that it came from, the IP address, was from Turkey. And so they saw that as legit Turkish footage.
Whoa.
Is Steve tall enough for most
Yes,
roller coasters?
I just saw that. Hold on now. They did keep like testing me with that bar.
Yeah.
It kept hitting me in the head. I was like, come on, I'm fine.
I'm all right. Spike up the hair a little bit higher.
That's what I was doing to Jackson.
Yeah.
And
Make him taller.
Cable, he's Jackson's age. He's just quite a bit shorter. We were trying to like spike the hair because usually as long as it touches the hair, like they're okay.
You're okay with it. Yeah.
So whatever,
I remember
guys.
taking Rihanna, who's the same age as Jackson, on a roller coaster last summer, and she was like just like an inch too short. And they were like, as long as she rides with mom or dad and you guys hold on to her, you're okay. I'm like, okay. Scooped her in my arm. She loved it.
Mm-hmm.
You got to start them young.
For Cable, we're like, just kind of like stand on your tippy toes a little bit as they're testing you. He's like, but I don't want to lie. Like, you're too honest of a kid. Come on. Do you want to survive in this world?
You need to be corrupted.
That's right. So they're really strict parents, and Lindsay and I are not really. So they kind of just let their kids do whatever when they're around us. So I feel like I'm good exposure for their kids.
Right. More free range parenting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you'll be fine. Because Kentucky Kingdom, they had like the whole place was themed in Halloween. So they had this zombie wasteland.
Yeah,
like
I saw
scary
the
house.
pictures.
Yeah,
It
and
looked
then they
pretty
had
cool.
a clown one that we went in, and everyone freaked out in that clown one.
Yeah.
Jackson loved it, but everyone else was like bawling.
Charlotte looked terrified.
I can't. It was like 13 and older. We're supposed to go in there, and then we have like little Charlotte,
How
almost 5 years old.
Let me sacrifice my 4-year-olds.
I think that's what Lindsay was doing. It's like, you go first. It was good, but I am glad to be back. I am glad to be live.
Yes, I'm glad to be back here. I'm dreading going to work on Friday. I'm just not looking forward to that.
Oh yeah,
We're having a mass exodus of managers quitting and finding other jobs. It is getting desperate at my workplace.
Well, if you go anti-gun, people are going to leave.
So
That's not the reason, but
no, that's not the reason at all.
So Walmart's hiring. If you guys want to work for Eric,
Management positions are available too. But anyway, I'm glad to be here. It's just more motivation to make this happen for us. And we had a little discussion about that on the phone this afternoon, about things to do to advance wasted ammo. But it's all in the works, but it's baby steps, unfortunately.
it's always baby steps.
Yeah. So some other news. I did declare on my vacation. So I just wanted to show everyone the case I used. Here it is. This is the agreement that I signed, and this is tape from American Airlines saying that they verified it, and that it's empty. And
you're not in jail, so you did everything right.
So I did everything right. I was basically going off of, on the TSA website, they have a video of how to declare a firearm, and then there's a whole page worth of reading. I read all that. I talked to Kyle, who declared his Tavor last year. And I said, hey, what worked, what didn't work? Because he flew into Dallas-Fort Worth, the exact same place I was going. And I said, what was your experience like? How did it go? What did they like? What they didn't like? And anyway, I was completely compliant. I posted some pictures. I'll put them up here afterwards of the case and what the inside of the case looked like. But I had a box of ammo in there. All the ammo was in the box. Magazine unloaded. I had a chamber flag in the P99, and then I also had my multi-tool in there, my Leatherman Mutt. And so it was pretty crammed full. I couldn't really fit anything else in there because it is a smaller box. But I got it on Amazon. It was $25, and I had the option for this one or a TSA lock. Okay. And I started reading reviews. I'm like, well, I should go with the TSA one, right? You would think I'm going to be.
I feel like it's a marketing ploy.
Right. I figured I'd be complying with TSA. So I started going into the comments and the reviews, and they were like, you don't need the TSA one. The TSA one is that TSA has a key that's a universal unlock that would work for any TSA lock on luggage, so that if they had to inspect your luggage, they could just put it in the lock. They wouldn't have to cut your padlock on your luggage, or they wouldn't have to like pry that open. And all right, another one.
Alexander, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
And you did it live. That's how you do it.
Right. Always live. And they were like, you don't need TSA. In fact, they don't like, the people that were in the reviews didn't like the TSA lock one because anybody could just open up your box and take your gun if they wanted to, or mess with it or whatever. And so I started thinking about when Kyle took his DeVore, and he had it in a kind of like a Pelican case, a hard shell case.
Mm-hmm.
And it had its own key to lock that wasn't TSA compliant. He had padlocks on it that wasn't TSA compliant. And they had him open it, show that it was empty, close it, lock it back up, and he was fine. So why should TSA have access to your stuff? And so anyway, I got to Fort Wayne International and, said I needed to declare a firearm with my check-in bag. So it wasn't my carry-on, it was a checked luggage. And they said, okay, just please open the case, show us that it's empty. Did that, magazine was empty, everything was good. She's like, okay, thanks, close it up. And she put this, I had to sign one of these leaving Fort Wayne, and she put some tape on it. And then I closed my luggage, locked the luggage with a padlock, and got to Dallas-Fort Worth. And here's what I didn't know. Where do you pick up your baggage?
They just throw it in the belt?
No, because it has a firearm in it, and it actually has a tag that says return to BSO. And I'm like, return to Black Site Operations.
Oh, you're like, no.
It's just going to go home. Come on, I need it to come with me. So, long story short, every airport doesn't really tell you where to pick up your luggage at. Every airport is different. So thankfully in Dallas, there was an American Airlines, like where the belt comes out for the conveyor for your luggage. There was an office with 2 American Airline employees in it that said baggage claims. And so I walk in there and I said, yes, I declared a firearm in Fort Wayne, and I was just wondering, where do I pick up my luggage? And he said, oh, it'll come out the oversized luggage compartment. And so I just waited by the oversized luggage. So they had the conveyor over here. The oversized luggage thing was about 6x6, and it had a green and red button for when something's coming up. And this guy got a phone call, comes out, hits the green button, out pops my luggage. He checks my ID, checks it against the luggage, hands it to me. I was good to go. Then when I got to Fort Wayne at 11 o'clock at night, and everybody's gone, and we were the last flight in.
And when you say everyone's gone, everyone's gone.
Everyone's gone.
Completely
There
empty.
is one TSA agent there that's guarding the exit from the secured area to the baggage claim area. That's it. That's the only employee there. And so I'm looking around for this oversized luggage thing. Nowhere to be found. It's just conveyors. I'm like, great. Where do I go? So I go over to the TSA lady who stops me from re-entering the safe area. And I said, where do I go? She said, oh, go over to ticket claims or ticketing. So I go over to the airline ticketing. The only people over there are 2 maintenance guys working on the conveyor over in the ticketing thing. I'm like, okay, this is stupid. So I waited for about 10 minutes, and then a clerk comes out from the baggage area and has my luggage, checks my ID, gives me the bag. So the only thing could be clearer is where to pick it up, because it seems like every airport's different. But also every airport is different about these, I found out. So I talked to a few other people that have declared before, and they said, oh, well, in Atlanta, they do it this way. In Atlanta, they're not okay with having the magazine loaded. The gun has to be unloaded, and the magazine has to be unloaded. But in Dallas, the magazine can be loaded, but the gun has to be unloaded. So it's different everywhere you go. And that's what I hate. That's what needs to be changed. It needs to be a standard process across the board.
Yeah, you hear horror stories.
Yeah.
I remember there's this one lady who was on a flight, and something happened, and the plane was diverted to New York. And when she landed there, she had a firearm that she declared. Wasn't supposed to be in New York. and she had a standard capacity magazine, which was illegal there, and they arrested her.
Mm-hmm.
But like she had no plans to be there.
Yeah.
Like how is that even? Like I don't understand. Like that stuff drives me nuts.
Right. So reading into that, and I was reading reviews about that because I was worried about if we got diverted somewhere else. And not that, I mean, let's say coming back home, we got diverted instead of coming into Fort Wayne, we got rerouted to like Chicago, O'Hare, or Midway, where I can't take possession of my firearm. Right. So if that were to happen, you have to refuse taking your luggage. The airline has to hold on to it until your next flight out. So that would
So
mean
they try to give to you, be like, oh no.
no, you don't touch it. As soon as you take possession
You get
of
it on my next plane.
you're arrested. Exactly. So it's like you have to hold on to that until I come back. Which, if we had to stay overnight, had all of our toiletries in it, had all of Lucy's clothes in it. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I would have been up shit creek with the wife because I brought my firearm, and now we have to go spend the night in the clothes on our backs, and no shower the next morning before we fly home. So that was kind of the risk I was taking. So I think next time I would probably pack like an extra set of clothes in Lucy's bag and put this in my own bag, and we pack separately. Whereas this trip we packed together. So lessons learned.
Yeah. You remember when the FBI was investigating Hillary Clinton?
Yes.
I think about her server and everything.
Yeah.
And her emails. And the FBI came out and made a statement, said that, yes, she broke the law. She did this wrong, this wrong, this wrong, all breaking the law. But her intent, like it was an ill intent to do it, so they weren't going to charge her.
Right.
Why can't they take that, like that idea of intent and apply it to like firearms?
Right. So like the lady
Like,
that got diverted to Reagan in New York, she took possession of her luggage, which had a firearm in it, and they arrested her. It's almost like a sting operation.
Yeah. Because she didn't know any better.
Right. She had no ill intent. Her flight got rerouted. She had to spend the night in New York, not willingly.
Or even, someone who's traveling and doesn't really understand the gun laws and how it changes. Like, what was that one lady years ago at this point? She was a concealed carrier, and she accidentally drove into New Jersey or something.
She drove into New Jersey, made a legal U-turn, got pulled over, wanted to, in good faith, let the officer know that she had a gun in the car, even though she didn't have to tell him. And anyway, she had no reciprocity with a Pennsylvania permit in New Jersey. And also, they lit her up for having hollow points, which were also illegal in New Jersey.
And she was facing like 3 or 4 years in prison.
Yeah.
It's like, come on.
Single mom, nurse, had 2 kids.
It's so wrong.
Yeah. So it's just more ridiculousness, but it was great being in Texas and being able to carry. I never needed the gun. I'm pretty sure the couple we were with thought I was ridiculous for doing it. But you know what? It's that one time that you don't think you need it that you probably need it. So,
especially when you're traveling, criminals, they like to prey on travelers. Usually you're very obvious. Usually you carry cash on you.
Yeah.
Or very expensive valuables in your car. So, I mean, you're a target.
Right.
So I don't blame you. Yeah. I'm glad that you went through the whole process and you learned it. And I'm sure it was a headache.
Oh, it was definitely a headache because every time you check your bag, whatever airport you're in, you have to declare your firearm. They ask you to open your bag so that they can see it. I have to unlock it and show it to them. And then everyone around you that's waiting in line knows you have a firearm in that bag. I hate that. There's no discretion. I wish it was like, hey, I need to declare. And they take you to a separate room where you do all that stuff. I don't know. It's ridiculous. But I wanted the experience, and then Lucy was like, oh, you chose this trip with me to have this experience. And I'm like, when else do I fly?
I stay in Fort Wayne.
Exactly. Come on. So yeah, it's just interesting, but it's also frustrating and time consuming. But in the end, I'm glad I did it. But if you want to know what works, this is what works. I would recommend that you have the magazine empty as well. I've even heard that some airports want you to have a separate locked case just for the ammo. So to have like a second one, but
because it might load itself and start shooting people.
Guns just do that.
Those hollow points.
Oh my gosh, they have a mind of their own. Self-loading, self-shooting firearms and ammo.
Exploding rounds. Yeah. That's what they do.
We need smart guns.
Other news, lowers came in.
Yeah, there they are.
What do you think of those babies? Can they even see them?
Betsy Ross in a
Use
way.
your long arms and throw it in front of the camera. See if it focuses. I don't think it's gonna. There it goes. Yep. Pretty sweet.
I was a little disappointed because this wasn't the first run. So these were in such high demand that they made a second batch. And so the serial numbers aren't 1 through 1776. Now this is 1776-0438. All right. But on the 0 or the 1 through 1776, the select fire options were different. It was Freedom, America Freedom, and 1776 Freedom. And these ones have red, white, and blue. So I'm a little disappointed about that. I like the 1776 Freedom. But
I wonder why they changed it.
yeah, I don't know. Maybe they wanted to make the original batch unique.
Oh, make them like even more valuable.
Yeah, I guess.
If they are, I have no idea.
I guess. But anyway, I'm happy it's my first AR lower.
Float some hearts for that.
Yeah.
Hold on. Oh, I'm not. I don't have it up. I can't.
I'm an AR virgin.
Are you excited?
I'm super excited. So I have to buy an upper. I posted a picture a couple weeks ago of all the things that were donated to me from listeners. I bought a barrel off of Andrew Bobo from Matter of Facts podcast. It's the barrel and gas tube, and the gas tube's already fitted. But I have to buy the upper, and then I'm going to send the upper and barrel to Timothy, who is going to precision fit them together for maximum accuracy. And once I get that back, I can piece the rest together.
Must be nice to have friends in high places.
Right?
Timothy has done a lot for you.
Oh my gosh. The man is like my best friend on the internet. I mean, like,
You're his best internet friend. I'm a little jealous.
But I also know, he has helped me immensely.
He's like, oh, you need this part? Here, let me machine it.
Yeah, but we've done
you.
some guinea pig stuff where I've had to like send him measurements and he kind of pieces it all together. I send him the aluminum part. He manufactures a stainless steel part. But he has been a huge help to me, and I can't thank you enough, Timothy. But man, I've gotten parts from a couple other listeners as well, and Brennan Fogas, Josiah. So hope I didn't leave anyone out. I think that's it. But I already have the thread adapter. Timothy made me a thread adapter for the barrel I have, the 300 blackout barrel, for my SOS Hunter suppressor.
Oh, it's going to be so nice.
Right?
It's going to be so nice.
So the last thing I have to, so after I buy the upper, the last thing I have to put together, I have to figure out, is the barrel shroud, the handguard, because I want to do a custom one. So we need to reach out to, is it Brad Jones? I can't remember.
It's not Brad Jones.
It's not Brad? We need to figure that out. Whoever made that Molon Labe Spartan.
I'm spacing it right now, but.
Yeah, I can't. Oh, man. But anyway, we need to get over there and we need to figure out, we need to put this thing together. So I've got a 10 and a half inch barrel and a 10-inch suppressor. So I think the whole thing should be about 20 inches. That makes sense? I mean, I've never put an AR together before.
Sure.
So, but I want to do We the People on one side and then Waste Ammo Podcast in the same calligraphy writing as We the People, and have Wasted Ammo on the other side, and then milled in is the Wasted Ammo Trident all over.
They're pretty sweet.
I think it'll be pretty cool. So I don't know how much that'll cost, but I'd like him to do one and at least plan it out.
I'm sure it'll be a little pricey, but
it'll
be worth it.
I have no doubt, but it will be so worth it when it's done. So I'm excited.
I'm excited for you. Well, that's probably gonna be for my blackout upper as well. So I just have to get a lower parts kit, and I should have everything else. But mine will be fast. Then I'll have two.
Right?
2 is 1.
One is
1 is
none.
none. That is right.
I'll have to go from 300 Blackout to AK. I'll be like, oh, this is super nice. Then I'll be like, you know, I mean, you know.
Basically, yeah. All right. So that's our life
Yeah,
this past couple weeks,
I think that's everything.
week and a half since we've seen you last.
This is a laser engraved license plate. I actually have one of these on the front of my car. And yeah, if you want one, hit me up and I'll order one for you.
Did you get Kyle one?
This one will be for Kyle,
Oh, okay, that's why.
but it's got the mirror finish on it. Ooh, shiny. Right?
Yeah, it's
But
nice.
I do have gifts.
Gifts.
Yeah, Kyle isn't here to accept his, but
Should you wait?
I'll wait for Kyle, but I have something for you. It's nothing big. It's a Glock.
Keep calm and carry.
Yes.
I like it.
For your gun
Thank you.
safe that has all stickers on it. I really didn't find anything else. I was like, oh, I don't know if Steve will like that. I don't know if Steve will like that. And I was like, I had something for Kyle, and then I was leaving without something for you, and I'm like, Steve has to have something. And
How about those $4,000 cowboy boots?
Yeah, see, I didn't think you'd wear them all that time.
I wouldn't.
No. Anyway,
Kyle would.
Here's Kyle's brown bag special.
Oh, if he's watching right now, if he's not busy right now.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's for you.
It'll be here in the black site.
It's a piece of brisket I brought back from Texas. I hope it's still good next week.
Just keep poking it.
It's like, do something.
Like, what is it? Okay.
I'll show you afterwards.
All right. Sounds great. Can't do it live.
No.
All right. Well, it is Conflicted Hump Day. Should we play some?
Yeah.
Conflicted?
I still haven't picked out any cards.
Ah, dude. We've been talking this whole time.
I know. It's hard for me to converse with you and talk about stuff, but also reading cards.
I said during the 5-minute timer, I said, find some cards.
Yeah, I got over here super late today. So.
Anyway, yeah, Eric was super late. I thought I was going to start the show without you.
Yeah, it was close.
I would have, too. No,
Yeah.
probably not.
Lucy had a important meeting for a leadership thing that she's on.
It's a church thing, right?
Yeah, it's a leadership team that she's on. And so they were kind of hashing out some last minute things, and it went from 7:30. She got home like right at 9 o'clock, and I visited with her a little bit and got here about 9:20. So
Just in time for the timer. Have you noticed everything that's going on in the world right now? Because, we do, conflicted hump days. Some of the scenarios that we talk about are a little crazy, especially our responses. But the whole idea behind this card game is to make you guys think. And there's a lot of people out there who probably think, oh, that could never happen here. But with everything going on in the world right now, it's kind of crazy. Did you see what's going on in Mexico?
I heard the cartel actually, they killed, 3 police officers or Mexican army?
Probably more than that.
Was it?
They defeated the Mexican army in the battle.
Jeez. It can be done.
What's going on in Chile right now? That's insane.
I haven't heard about that.
Just-
I've been keeping an eye on the whole Turkey-Syria scenario.
Oh, there's that too. But I think in Chile, there was a proposed 4% fee rate increase for the subway.
Okay.
And then the people were just pissed off and just started rioting. And the government's killing people. Like, it's kind of crazy.
That's insane.
Obviously, it's not all about that one thing. I'm sure it's a lot of things that built up, and this was like the final straw.
Yeah.
But like that's happening. It's just kind of crazy. Like the whole world's kind of falling apart. Hope you guys are ready. What else is going on out there?
I don't know.
Hong Kong?
Hong Kong, yes. How about that?
It's crazy.
Standing up to their government, wanting to be like 1776 America.
Yeah. They're waving American flags.
Yeah. That's crazy. I want to move there. Seriously,
Yeah.
if they start over, if they topple their government and start over with 1776 America, I might just go learn Mandarin and move.
Yeah, really. Interesting.
The way this is going, because we're becoming more
Wait,
like
is this going?
we're becoming more like Red China, and they're becoming more like America.
Like they're doing a reset. Let's go over there.
Yeah, exactly. I want to be part of that.
Just so the stuff that we talk about on these conflicted hump days, it's important because I know in the United States we're comfortable, but it's all coming down.
Right.
Or it could. I don't want to be like a fear monger. Just pick a card. Let's play it. How are you guys?
All right.
Kyle Rogers. Sorry, I was... Okay, it wasn't that bad. I was like, I better stop reading that. Balls deep in crab legs. Dude, that sounds really good right now.
Lucy and I, we had our 13-year anniversary on Monday.
Oh, well, congratulations.
Thank you. And we went and ate at Cork and Cleaver. Have you ever been there?
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing. Your steaks are good.
Have you not been there before?
No.
Oh,
I've
yeah.
lived here 12 years and never been to Cork and Cleaver.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, and I was impressed. And they had Alaskan king crabs on the menu for $56.
Yeah.
I'm like, I want to pay for it just to see it. Like, what does it look like? Alaskan king crab. I'm picturing like a crab like this big. And then they also had a 30-day aged bone-in steak.
How much is a steak?
That was $59 for the 30-day aged. I got the coffee crusted ribeye.
Was it good?
Yeah, it was a 14-ounce. It was pretty good. Heavy on the pepper, but like the first couple of bites, I was like, whoa, and then you get used to it. And it was good.
You just choke on the first bite.
Yeah. All right, so let's get started. Oh, Kyle, while you're here, I got you something. This is for you. Come get your brisket. It'll be here next week. Talk about aged. He's sitting there. Then you can smell my breath, but it's been a week, so I don't know.
Did he really ask for that?
Huh?
Did he ask for it?
No, it's not brisket.
I know, but did he say something the last time he was here about the brisket or something?
Yeah.
I thought maybe it was an inside joke that I missed.
I couldn't find brisket, so I got ribs.
Okay.
It was good. 2 pounds of ribs.
2 pounds.
Yeah, $33. But it was delicious, $33.
Well, in Kentucky, I was in the mood for barbecue, and I was just Googling my phone while we're on the highway. Let's find some barbecue real quick. And I found this place called D's Butts, and it was really good. I was like, I love the name. It's right off the highway. Let's do it.
Oh, man.
And the kids love the name. They're like, D's Butts.
D's Butts.
That's a plug for you guys. It was good.
Oh, Kyle said his crab legs tonight were $65 for all you can eat. That is balls deep.
That is, yeah.
That's a lot of crab legs. All right. I like this card because we always talk about using your neighborhood as a fortified area, right?
Okay.
But what if your neighbors are lazy?
Okay.
What if everyone doesn't pull their weight?
Everyone?
So Morgan and a few of his neighbors kept the entire neighborhood safe. So like you, me, and Kyle, we kept the entire neighborhood safe. But there's 30 homes in here? For as long as they kept the neighborhood safe for as long as they could, setting up barricades and checkpoints at strategic locations around their homes. Such burden would have been a lot easier to carry if everyone in the neighborhood helped. Some people didn't want to give their time and resources to help, but they indirectly benefited from Morgan and his friends' efforts. If you were Morgan, how would you deal with the lazy neighbors who do not want to help but indirectly benefit from your hard work? And go.
And go. I say kick them out. Forcefully
Remove them from their own home?
Yep. Or just completely banish them from any group gatherings and supplies, food, help.
Okay. how would you enforce that? At gunpoint? I mean, what if they have guns too? They're like, you're not going to deny me my resources.
So if they're prepared and they just don't want to
Yeah.
help,
I'm thinking A Few Good Men right now. You live under the very protection that I provide.
well, if you're in control of this community, make it a vote. Like, hey, take a vote.
Community vote.
Yeah.
But there's only 3 of you, and there's, 27 other neighbors.
Yeah, but it's not like there's only a couple people, right?
Yeah.
Everyone else is helping. I'm sorry, if everyone in here is not helping.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, what if we're the only 3 providing protection?
That would suck if we're doing what we need to do to keep us safe.
Right.
And they're just benefiting from it.
They're benefiting from our security of the neighborhood.
We'll make everyone pay tribute forcefully.
Yeah. Well, that's what William Ismay says. He says, forcefully demand a safety or protection tax.
Mm-hmm.
Here's my tax. I get first dibs. So the 3 of us, whatever resources we acquire through defense or whatever resources we trade or barter for the neighborhood, we get first dibs. We get our pick.
We take it all.
Pretty much. And people are like, hey, I need this stuff. It's like, well, maybe you could help protect the neighborhood.
Be like, yeah, go on the next run with us.
Yeah. But almost kind of like use it to cut them off. So you're kind of choking them out.
But you gotta think, if you are outnumbered and you piss enough people off, they see that we're prepared, we're getting supplies, we're doing runs, we're taking all the risks, but we have things.
Yeah.
I mean, that could be a mob run on our house.
That's true too. But is that a risk you're willing to take? Be like, well, hey, I'm helping protect the neighborhood. I have first access to these things. If you want to have first access to these things too, help us out.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to be nice about it, you can just start a discussion like that.
I would try that method.
Yeah, like
first.
I would. Oh yeah, me too. Obviously.
Yeah.
Just be realistic with them. Be like, hey, like, we're making a run tomorrow. If you want some supplies, we'll share what we get. To me, that's only fair.
Yeah. That's how I feel about it too.
Or you can ask people what they need, and then if you do find something, and just try to barter with something that they have that you would need.
True. So use the resources you're collecting from the checkpoints
to get what they have.
To get what they have.
Yeah.
It's not about
have our own market in front of the house.
Right.
What do you need? Come on in. Not too close.
It's very true. It's just eventually they'll run out of resources.
Eventually.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's a slow decline, so before they know it, they can't fight back. And then we're still strong and healthy and have all the supplies.
Then we're protecting a bunch of empty houses of dead people.
Well, then you just drag them out. Black Site members can join us. Like, the Joneses, they're dead.
Yeah.
Go clean out their house. You can have it.
Put their bodies on the wall. You can take their place.
Yeah.
I like it. Joe Oliveira says, not much you can do. There's an ass hat in every group.
Yeah.
This is true.
Yeah.
There's always that one guy.
If it's one house, like one family, there's always that one stubborn family.
They might have an accident.
They might.
There was a terrible, terrible fire the other night.
Oh, man, they must have dropped a lantern or something.
They lost their entire place. That sucks.
That is horrible.
I don't know how they didn't manage to escape. Kyle says, my wife would be passive-aggressive AF. She'd get a hella side eye.
Just give him the eye, the stink eye.
Exactly.
Like, I'm pissed.
Right?
My wife's good at that.
Oh, I think every wife is good at that. Women are naturally born with that.
Do they like teach each other?
I think it's just natural.
Oh.
They're born with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's like just instinct.
Or they learned it from their mother. It's just at some point women developed that, they evolved to be able to control their husbands with hella side eye. Overwatch says deportation from group. Go and get your own stuff. Yeah. People be like, oh, it's not fair you have that. But like, help out. Go get your own.
Now, what happens if they're just hunkering down in there and they have supplies and they just wouldn't be left alone? I mean, they might be benefiting from the security,
right?
But they're not taking from the group.
Yeah, they're not taking anything. I'm more okay with that than I am from somebody who, didn't prepare and is just living under our protection.
Yeah. If you just want to be left alone, like, I'm good, It'd be kind of nice. Like, hey, you want to go man the wall for a while? Like, once a week, something. So we have...
Take a night shift once in a while. Something.
That'd be nice.
Yeah. William says, I had always envisioned neighbors bunking in one house, either to defend, etc. With that, others don't get our protection.
I could see that.
And Timothy says,
you come here, right?
Yeah. I mean, pretty much.
Kyle. Well, Kyle, he's kind of out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, he is. I mean,
maybe it's better to go to his house.
That's a huge bug out for him to bug in with us.
And to be so close to like downtown.
Right.
Let's go to his house.
His house might be a better option. More country folk out there with rifles.
I haven't seen it yet. I need to go check it out.
Timothy says, after a serious talking to, the lazy asses get, cut off if they continue to not be an asset.
Yeah, and if that happens, you have to keep a close eye on them because they might start to get a little bitter.
Right. I always think whenever we have a scenario like this, I was thinking about the old movie, The 10 Commandments, that comes out on TV like every Easter.
Is that where he drops one?
No, that's a Mel Brooks movie.
Oh, okay.
Behold these 15.
10 commandments. That's great.
Mel Brooks is the best. I forget who directed it or who the actor is, but it was made in like the 60s or 70s, something like that. But it always comes out around Easter time. I don't know why. I guess for Passover. That's why. I answered my own question. But
pastor's son.
Yeah. But as they're leaving Egypt, there's Joseph has a crush on this one Jewish slave that lives under the roof of an Egyptian. And so he goes to put blood on the doorway to protect her, but the Egyptian guy runs him off and says, we don't want that. But he knows that, he just wants to make sure that she's protected from the angel of death. And so after the guy closes the door, he puts the blood on the doorway anyway, saves that guy because he was the firstborn son of his Egyptian family. But also like saved her and her family that lived in that Egyptian house. And anyway, as they are kicking all the Jews out of Egypt, or all the Israelites out of Egypt, the Egyptian guard knocks on this guy's doorway and says, you need to go. You're with them. And the guy's like, I'm Egyptian, blah, blah, blah. And anyway, they kick him out. And so this Egyptian guy ends up following all these Hebrews out of Egypt and just heckles Moses the entire time. The dude is a royal pain in the ass. And that's how I picture like this one neighbor that is just like a leech sucking off the group, but just complains nonstop. It's like, dude, you will get a bullet to the head if you don't
I don't think
shut
that
up.
guy's going to last long.
No.
Especially outside rule of law. It's like...
Yeah. Yes, Charlton Heston. I love these guys. These guys know what I'm talking about.
This is why it's great to do this live.
Yeah.
When we're just recording a show, we're like, look it up. Look it up. And then I have to edit. It's too much work.
Kyle says he has room for us. Just help him finish the basement.
Okay.
Yeah, I can do that.
I can do that. Can we design it ourselves, put up walls, and make it our own? In preparation, for bugging out to your house. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
We'll have like all our stored stuff down there.
It could be the Black Site 2.
2.0. Complete with flags. So we'll have to have like the Bennington flag there, the Betsy Ross flag, Don't Tread on Me flag. And we'll have to have like all the patriotic stuff.
Okay. Let's do it.
And then record videos and
we can hang it back there.
Yeah.
Plenty. Look at all that space.
We got plenty of room.
All those like doorways.
Right? It's just too big of an area for us to protect. It's easier to go to Kyle's house. It's a smaller area to protect. All right, card number 2. The economy crashed and your family lost their income. Jobs are hard to come by. What other options are available to you with the skills you currently have? I hate this card. Why I chose it.
Very good.
Because it's eye-opening. I mean, I have site security skills, so maybe I'd be good at protecting this neighborhood. But what happens when the economy starts back up again? And let's say it's an EMP collapse. Let's just add that to the card. So grid is down for good. It'll be 30 years before a new electrical grid is back up. What pre-Civil War skills do you have?
I can build a website and do a podcast. I'm screwed.
I can sell you this log cabin.
That's not even a skill. Anyone can do that.
Oh, Kyle has a name for Black Site 2.0.
What is it?
Gucci Black Site.
Oh God, never mind. We're not going there. Just kidding. Your basement, you can call whatever you want. Skill sets. I could probably saw off someone's leg.
Amputations?
Yeah, that'd be easy.
Why not just get
I don't faint at the sight of blood.
Yeah, just get like a giant axe or something like that. Like a battle axe. Whoosh, right through.
Yeah.
It'll be quick and painful. It'll be quick.
Yeah. How about you? I'm all electrical, man.
I know.
I'm all website design, graphics.
That's why I made it EMP. Kind of a wake-up call.
What are the odds of that happening? Okay. Let's just say.
Well, now that everyone else is at war with themselves, I feel like we're just being left alone. China's not a threat. They're worried about their own country.
That's true.
You know?
Well, they don't like to be, I don't know. Aren't they like going after, I'm not even following it, like the NBA and some other people. There was the video gamer that mentioned like support for Hong Kong, and
yeah,
they had them shut down, and
yeah.
I think it was Blizzard.
And this is where you begin to see just exactly how much China controls the U.S. They're
Well,
like,
that's what's scary, because it's like, oh, well, this Chinese company owns 20% of this U.S. company.
Right.
Well, that's a big chunk of that business.
Yeah. You speak out against us, shut down.
It's kind of scary.
Yeah. Communism has already entered our country.
Through capitalism?
Yes. Through the internet.
I don't like it.
Mm.
I don't like it one bit.
So who has our hosting software?
Go Hong Kong. We'll find out. It's probably, you remember last time the show cut out?
Yeah.
If it does it again, we know.
The Chinese.
So
I have good building skills. So I know how to like craft things. I can weld. I can do machine work. If we can figure out how to make those things run. Woodworking, I'm okay. I'm not like a master craftsman, but I know basic skills of how to make, bricks, mortar, using things found on the earth.
I've watched a lot of YouTube videos.
Like mud and straw. And
I can figure it out.
Chopping the logs into, it's just, I need the tools, but I have the knowledge. I just haven't put the knowledge into practice.
It was like the time-lapse video of the guy going in the middle of the woods
Right.
and just building his own little house.
With a heated floor.
Oh, yeah, he did have, didn't he? That's
Yeah.
right, he did.
So I think it's more just getting out in the woods for a long period of time and just trying to perfect those skills before it becomes pass-fail.
Yeah. But what are the odds of an EMP,
30%.
Was this through a study? Can you cite the source?
Well, I figure it's going to be one of three things. It's going to be financial collapse, EMP, or zombies. And each one is about 33.3333.
Even the zombies. It's going to be all financial, baby.
It'll be financial, and then everyone will get pissed, and then they'll send a nuke into our atmosphere and blow it up, and then it'll be EMP on top of financial collapse.
Yeah, then the radiation creates zombies.
Exactly. So it's 100%. That's what's going to happen.
Everything.
Yeah.
Everything we talk about.
Yep. It'll happen. All right, so Timothy says, I have an anvil, hammer, and can scrounge, wish I could read, or forge together. Electrical skills, start building my own grid. That's interesting. Build your own grid from scratch. William Ismay, construction. Super helpful. Building things. Somebody has to know how to put it all together.
I like the forging idea.
Yeah. Be like a blacksmith. I always thought that was like the coolest medieval person ever.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Me
It's
too.
like, see the blacksmith.
Just create like these beautiful swords.
If your wife needs her chastity belt removed, call the blacksmith. Another Mel Brooks movie. Sorry, you got me all Mel Brooks now. Timothy says, gunsmithing, reloading, lead casting, and if things get real bad, sex worker. It's a tough job, but somebody's got to do it. Someone has to repopulate the earth. What are the odds of the Carrington event? What is that? Is it
I'm
bad
not sure.
that I don't know what that is?
Let us know what it is.
Kyle says, we saw Zombieland 2. Super great movie. Yeah, I couldn't convince Lucy to see that on our anniversary night. After dinner, we went to see a movie, and I wanted to see Zombieland double tap. But we ended up seeing Gemini Man.
Was that good?
It was good. It's predictable, but it's still good.
I feel like it was just a test of technology in a way.
What do you mean?
Just like doing like the second Will Smith, de-aging him. A lot went into it.
Right. I felt it was very next level. What was his name in Fast and Furious?
Oh, the one that died?
Yeah.
I can't recall.
He plays Brian. Oh, it's so bad. We are terrible tonight. We are off the game.
But the Carrington event is the solar storm of 1859. It was a powerful geomagnetic storm during the solar cycle 10. It was a coronal mass ejection, hit Earth's atmosphere, and induced one of the largest geomagnetic storms on record.
Wow. So it was basically
probably wiped out a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah, so it was a solar flare.
Yeah. Interesting.
Which I've heard there's been a few that were like have been concerning, but not close enough to really cause any damage.
Yeah, I remember like years ago there was some news reports of like some of them like the sunspots and they're worried about that and nothing really happened, I don't think. There's been like little effects, but nothing major. But you see, you don't even need nukes. You got a big nuke in the sky, the sun.
Right.
Oh, Paul Walker.
Paul Walker, that's it.
Gone too soon.
Yeah, but when they used his brother to reconfigure Paul Walker's face for that final scene.
It was pretty good.
Right, it was pretty good, but then making Will Smith young again was next level. It was taking that technology and being like, hey, look what we can do now. Like, what, 6 years later? It was pretty good. It was well done. It looked like a younger version of him. Mm-hmm. They even tried, like, Will Smith even tried to change his voice to make him sound younger, but then kind of lost it towards the end of the movie.
Oh, right.
Yeah. To where like
too much work.
It's like the last scene, they just sounded like the same person. Let's see what else was on here. William says, not considered enough by prepper, in my humble opinion, but I look for antique tools at flea markets and garage sales, hand drills, etc. Not a prepper myself per se, but can make those things work if I need to. That's probably something that's not emphasized enough, to have some of those old school tools on hand that if shit did hit the fan and your power tools don't work, you have no electricity for your electric tools, you have the old hand tools that can make it happen. I've got a few of my grandfather's antique woodworking tools. He actually had a carpentry shop in his basement. And then my other grandfather, my dad's dad was a tool and die company out of his basement. And it wasn't anything of like the new computerized. It was all hand worked. So he like all the micro measurements were all like, he'd sit there and he had like these turning wheels, and he would just sit there and kind of like shake it and turn it just to where he gets like those micro measurements. He was more expensive than a lot of people in town, but he earned everyone's business through the quality of his work. There's a few letters that I have that said my grandfather's work, that they wouldn't go anywhere else because his work was worth the price because it was such quality.
Nice.
They said nobody else is as precise with his work. So all those machines are still in the basement at that house. So my grandfather built that house in 1958. And when they put in the basement, they used a crane to put all those big machines down there for him to use.
It's going to be stuck down there.
It's stuck down there. They'd have to disassemble it, and bring it out, and reassemble it. But now all those things are antiques. And I know Timothy would absolutely love it. I'm sure he would love that stuff. But I can give you the address. You can go talk to it. His house is now made into a business. He passed away in 2003. But then my mom's dad was also a carpenter, so we have some of his tools as well. So I've got a little bit of mix. Right now they're just displayed at my parents' house in some cabinets as some antique stuff.
Very cool.
But anyway, that was kind of a long story. I
think I'm losing my voice.
Devlin says, with a few guys, I could run a refinery. That's the thing, is if everyone comes together and has like the same set of skills, you could probably actually open up like a really good shop. Now, Steve, what you and I need to work on with this is a distillery.
That'd be nice.
Everybody comes to us for the booze. One thing that will be huge in the apocalypse is alcohol. And if we can have like a distillery that we made, be perfect. We get a lot of business.
Well, Bo can teach us his ways.
Well, he can have the mead. We'll have like his stuff. But I want like a full-fledged like distillery to make like a good beer, a good lager.
Good Bud Light.
Piss water.
Or Michelob. There you go.
Worried about calories in the apocalypse? Here you go. This one's for you. I don't know how many calories it has because I don't care.
Isn't that why alcohol was kind of created to begin with? Because water was unsafe to drink, so they just had like a slight alcoholic beer.
And it was safe to drink?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Pretty sure I read that somewhere. Beer was handed out as payments. Like, here you go. Hard day's work. Here's some beer.
Beer. That's why I always enjoy a good beer after work.
Yeah, I do too. I need to stop.
You're fine. Just keep going. All right. Last card?
Yeah.
Some crimes require the guilty to be killed in order to satisfy the need for justice. What method of execution should be adopted by your survival group after the collapse of modern civilization?
Well, obviously, there has to be levels to this.
Right. I feel like this is a gimme. I mean, if we're executing people, it's the Blood Eagle.
Well, that's like for the worst of the worst, right?
Right. That's for like murder and rape.
Yeah. Or betrayal.
Yeah.
If you're a traitor.
If you're a traitor, the treason. So treason, rape, murder.
Oh, we did a show on this, didn't we?
Blood Eagle. I believe
it's like, what are the 5 things that deserve the death penalty?
Yeah. But I feel like there's like those 3 things deserve the Blood Eagle.
Yeah, they do. What about very simple things? Maybe like theft.
No, you lose your hand.
Just simple theft.
A little cigar cutter on your finger. Lose a finger.
So do we have...
However many fingers you're missing or how many times you stole something.
Oh, like you stole a lot, didn't you? I'd be like,
I don't trust you.
So in our camp, there's no jails. We wouldn't build something to hold people.
I'm more a fan of immediate punishment rather than actually having like a jail to keep somebody. I feel like timeout doesn't really help people learn their lesson.
Yeah, it's true.
But now if you don't have a trigger finger, now you're missing a hand.
Yeah.
You're missing half your arm. mean,
We got to make sure that they're still useful, especially if they're in your group.
So what can you do with your feet?
For simple punishments, would you just bring back like the stockade?
Yeah. Public
Shaming.
public shaming. What
Be
about
like
with
3 days in there, go.
Yeah. What about like, the cat at nine tails, like lashings with
12 lashings.
a whip that has nails in it?
Sounds painful.
Yeah.
They get an infection and die, they die. If he dies, he dies.
Right.
I don't know.
Nobody's contributing.
Everyone's like, we know what it is.
Yeah.
Did the show stop? China?
Hello?
Timothy says Blood Eagle for theft. Depending on
Whoa.
what it is.
Oh, yeah, true. If you're stealing someone else's food rations,
Yeah, I mean, if it's
that's
something that's needed for survival,
right. That's their livelihood.
or like medicine, the group food rations. I just want to be able to punish people, but also keep them useful.
I feel like lashings is kind of the way to go with that. I mean, sure, you run the risk of infection,
I still think
but that's the risk you take when
stockade. 3
Yeah.
days in there, like I don't think he'll do it again. I think that would suck.
But see, you wouldn't get like vegetables thrown at you because those are too valuable as food. So you
Well,
couldn't
they'll throw it, and then they'll pick it up, and it's like, I need that.
I just hit this guy in the head with that head of cabbage. You could always throw rocks.
But just being in it for a couple of days, I think that'd be horrible.
Yeah.
Just make it so like you can't really get comfortable. Like, yeah, that's enough.
Yeah.
The sun, the
Ooh.
cold.
I mean, you could lose some limbs if it's cold enough.
During the winter, no one commits crimes. They're like, it's too cold. I'm not going out there.
So it's the stockade for like misdemeanors, and then a straight blood eagle. I feel like there's no in between.
Well, banishment. That's what Joe said.
Banishment. You're out of the group.
Remember, that's the only scary thing about banishment is they know a lot.
Right. They have insider information.
Mm-hmm.
And now that they're scorned.
If they're one of like the regular people that, they don't really know anything, they're not in the main group or in the leadership, yeah, they can probably go.
Yeah. Where we really have to be dependent upon like maybe after somebody leaves, we have to change up all the locations of our defenses. Like where we have the claymores or the tripwire mines, and it's like switch everything up, because if they know our defensive perimeter, they would tell them, oh, avoid these areas, and then we have to switch it to a new area.
I think we should do that anyway, right?
Yeah.
Always switch it up.
Always change it every week.
Until we die. Like, wait, where's it at now?
I can't remember. Tink. Oh, crap.
Claymores would be nice to have.
It would be.
How do we get that?
How do we make our own?
Oh, well.
You know what I mean?
Look in the black site.
Because I mean, like, they only last so long, but
I think Kyle, it was like a homemade little claymore type trap.
Gotcha.
Educational purposes only.
Of course.
We would need a raid into the black site. But I'm sure if you can find a book on just like historical traps used in like Vietnam or World War I and II. I think there's a simple one, just like, but even like a lot of them, like they use a grenade.
Yeah.
How do we get a grenade?
How do you like? Well, see, that's the thing is, if you go back to like pre-Civil War, you have to make your own stuff. You have to use the resources from the earth and the environment around you in order to make your own things. So, bear traps.
Ooh, there you go.
Those are things you can collect. They're reusable.
When I was going up to Canada, we stopped at this sportsman shop. I think it was in Michigan, Jay's. these J's, and they had some bear traps. I've never seen one in person.
They're huge.
They are massive. I was
Yeah.
like, oh my God, can you imagine stepping into this thing?
Yeah.
I think it would just cut my leg off.
I'm pretty sure it was just your leg. You no longer have one.
They had some smaller ones.
But they're like what this specific? No?
It wasn't that big, but it was still a good size. I mean, it was like that.
It's funny. We just did the same thing, but with my arms and your arms, it's like a different size.
Yeah, exactly. They're just like 3 times the size, like that. But I was thinking the same thing when I saw those. Like, man, I really just want to buy a couple of those.
Totally should have. How much were they?
I can't remember.
Hmm.
I can't remember. You want to go to Michigan?
Yes, I do.
It was a huge place. Really cool, a lot of cool stuff.
That sounds neat.
Yeah. They had some gun safes in there. I think it was Rhino Ironworks.
Okay.
But they were just like this real rough, old-timey type safes. It was pretty sexy. I liked it a lot. It had like leather interior and everything. Like, that's beautiful.
That's awesome.
Yeah. All right, anything else?
I think that's it. We actually just had a few people join us.
Now we're wrapping it up.
I know.
We have to do it early tonight because we have to record another episode after this.
Right.
I'm tired. It's been a long. I need a vacation from my vacation.
Exactly. It's a vacation hangover. Vacation makes you lazy, but it also wears you out. And then you need time to just have some R&R. Because, for guys like us, our vacations were filled with busy things. So for me, it wasn't just laying around doing whatever.
I had kids. Get out of here.
I can't compete with that, but we did have a very rigorous schedule where we're just kind of one thing to the next. So
going to all those artsy shops.
Yeah.
$60 candles, $4,000 boots.
Right.
Can't afford to live there.
Well, you can. It's actually pretty reasonable, but it's just all the tourist trap places were expensive.
That's something I've noticed from my travels, and I don't really travel that much, but I don't like the touristy type places.
Yeah.
Yeah. I go to Gatlinburg, and it's like, oh my God, it's everywhere,
Price gouging.
It's the whole thing. I just want to just go out in the middle of nowhere, get a cabin. That's what I want.
Yeah. Exactly.
Let's do that kind of trip.
Okay.
Like Canada, that was nice. We can do that and go bear hunting.
With knives.
I mean, I'll use a gun, but
you bring your Glock 43 and shoot it in the ass.
I'll get a 10 millimeter, maybe. After seeing that Russian, what was it? The post on Facebook, the Russian bear that killed the 4 people.
Oh yeah,
the pictures and everything.
Yeah,
dude, those people were tore up. I'm not doing that. Good luck. Good luck with your challenge.
Thanks. I have the record breaker, nice and sharp.
Oh, that's true. I'll root for you.
Thanks. As you're running away.
Now, when I have my 10 millimeter, if you're losing, you want me to step in?
Yeah, that's fine.
I'm sure the bear won't die right away. You can keep stabbing.
Right.
It works.
If you help, no one has to know.
What's this extra hole here? Don't worry about that. All right, I think I'm done. Are you done?
I'm done.
Thanks for joining us. We appreciate it. Feels good to be back. Sorry I was a little tired tonight. And I'm losing my voice.
One more podcast. Stick it out, Steve.
One more. I'm gonna be like this in that episode. Eric, you do all the talking.
You should stop smoking cigarettes.
Oh, yeah, I need to do that.
I'm just kidding. He doesn't smoke.
I don't. Never. Not even once. Never even tried it.
No?
No.
No. I've only had cigars.
Oh, yeah. Prepper camp.
Yeah.
Too many cigars.
I had cigars before that, but prepper camp, that was a lot of cigars.
That was. And you smoked out of a $500 pipe?
Yeah. From Uncle Randy. He's actually watching.
Is he? Hey, Randy. Oh, Timothy says the Black Plague is what I'm coming down with. Maybe. It'd suck to be patient zero.
Bring out your dead.
Later, guys.
Bring out your dead.